Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk About SparkingZero with me, Ryan. It is just me today. This is going to be like a small little podcast type thing that we're going to do. With SparkingZero releasing in less than a week, I figured we should start talking about it and what that will mean for the league moving forward. So, SparkingZero, will we be moving over to SparkingZero for the remainder of the 2024 season? The answer is no. We just finished the main portion of the season, but we still have the playoffs that we have to do, and it just doesn't make sense having the main season in one game and then having the playoffs in the other. Will we be moving to SparkingZero for the 2025 season? The answer is also no. There is so much background research that we have to do for the game, figuring out damage calculations, whether or not a character is just obscenely broken in an AI versus AI fight, whether there are teams that have master lists that are too powerful, too weak, where it wouldn't end up making a balanced league. So there will not be a SparkingZero League for 2025. However, we will have it for 2026. There's also DLC that's coming out with the game, and so waiting until at least a majority of the DLC is out so that we can incorporate those characters into master lists is another reason why we are going to wait until 2026. And speaking of master lists and the DLC, let's talk about the master lists. So this is to, if we were to implant Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and just shove it right into SparkingZero. So the teams that you know now, the master lists that you know now, how do those exist in SparkingZero? This is not the definitive decision of staff. Things can end up being approved or not, and is only the opinion and belief of me. So I have no say on whether or not this will be accurate. This is just, from what I've been able to research from the master list, how I think that they would go. The current master lists that you'll see were pulled off the website. Anything that's missing off of there, that was from staff not adding it. And if I don't know of a current character that's supposed to be on the master list, that's unknown to me, because it should be on the master list that we have. And any characters that I miss adding to potential master lists will be due to not knowing whether or not they qualify. So let's start with the androids. So any robot, cyborg, android, or bio-android-like character, or person wearing a mechanical suit. So, you have all of your numbered androids. You have Cell because he's a bio-android. You have Cyborg Tau and Mecha Frieza because they have cybernetic enhancements. So, you all know the androids. The androids are a very iconic team. Baby Vegeta qualifies because I guess the Tuffles are android-like beings. And so when Baby Vegeta gets infused with the Tuffle, or when Vegeta gets fused with the Tuffle and turns into Baby Vegeta, he then qualifies as an android. Emperor Pilaf should also be on this list. I do know that, because he's just a guy in a mechanical suit. So the characters that androids will lose are Android 8, Aurelie, Cyborg Tau, Super 17, and I believe Emperor Pilaf as well. We did not add that into this list. But they will gain Dragon Ball Super Android 17. So we're going to have an Android 17 and a from Dragon Ball Z and an Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super. They're going to be two separate characters. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, for those who are wondering who those are from the most recent Dragon Ball movie. They are from the Super Hero movie where you get things like Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo. and they are androids. They also work for the Red Ribbon Army, so that's kind of another big indicator. And then Agnalasa, who is from the Tournament of Power. However, he might be a giant form only and would not be allowed. Overall effect is they will stay about the same. They will end up having a master list of around 15. Budokai. So, any character who legitimately participated on screen in a world martial arts tournament. Where the blonde guy with the glasses is the announcer. That is the Budokai Tenkaichi. So you got Android 18, early Piccolo, and early Goku, who were in the third tournament back in DragonBall. You got Tien, Master Roshi, GT Goku, Hercule, Yamcha, Yajirobe, Videl, anyone that we have seen in that World Martial Arts tournament stage in the anime will qualify. Characters that they will lose is Cyborg Tao, Nam, and Supreme Kai, and they don't gain anybody. However, if Budokai were to be expanded to include the Tournament of Power, Otherworld Tournament, or any other tournament that I don't remember within the anime, then they will get quite an increase. For the Tournament of Power, they would get Jiren, Ribrianne, Frost, Kale, and Bergamo, and all of the other characters that participated in the Tournament of Power. The estimated amount for that increase would be around 20 or so characters. So it could be a significant increase if they were to be expanded in such a way. So right now, their master list is hard to determine. If it sticks to just the World Martial Arts Tournament, they will lose 3 with a master list of around 20, 21. But if they get expanded, then it's a net gain of, I honestly don't know, and they will have a master list of around 40. The Boo Saga. Oh, the fun Boo Saga. Any character who had a prominent or active role within the Boo Saga. So obviously you have Babidi, you have all of the Boos, you have N Goku and N Vegeta, Spopovich, Majin Vegeta, late Piccolo because he ended up training, Goten and Trunks in order for them to fuse. You have Ultimate Gohan, Videl, who was part of the World Martial Arts Tournament and had that small little training with Gohan. So anyone who had a significant story beat. They lose Supreme Kai, and that's all that they lose. So only a 1 character loss is not bad. But there were no additions for the Boo Saga within SparkingZero. So overall, they lose 1. Overall master list of 17. So not bad. They get to keep a majority of their characters, and I don't think they were going to use Supreme Kai anyway. So Cinema. The fun movie characters. So any character that first appeared in a movie or an OVA, which I'm personally not sure what that means, before appearing in an official Dragon Ball manga or anime, if they appeared at all. I don't know if any of these did not appear in the anime at some point, because looking at everything, it looks to me like they did. So, Android 13 movie villain. Aurelie first appeared in Dr. Slump movies before Dragon Ball existed, so that's why she counts. Bojack was in a movie, or maybe at least a special that didn't count, that wasn't part of the main anime. Or no, Bojack was a movie, Bardock was that special, Broly was a movie, Cooler was a movie, Fasha would be the same special as Bardock, Garlic Jr. was a movie, Gogeta was the Janemba movie. So all of these usually are just movie characters or a special sort of character. Maybe a Future Trunks would count. Actually, no. I think Future Trunks appears in the anime before we get his, like, one episode or his one-off showcase of him. So they will lose Aurelie, Fasha, Small Form Garlic Jr., Salsa, the Great Saiyan Woman, and Zangaya. But they will gain a significant power increase. They get Beerus, Dragon Ball Super Broly. So Beerus is from Battle of the Gods. Dragon Ball Super Broly is from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Dragon Ball Super Frieza would be from Resurrection F. Dragon Ball Super Gogeta would be from the Broly movie. Super Goku and Super Vegeta would be part of the Battle of the Gods. And Whis would be part of the Battle of the Gods. So they stay about the same. They'll lose 5 characters and a character form, but they will gain about 7 characters. Their master list is going to be about 20, but they might gain any characters from the superhero DLC. So we do know one of the DLCs is going to be based around superheroes. So they might gain access to Gamma 1, Gamma 2, but I don't know that for certain. Cold Kingdom. Any member of the Cold family or those that they ruled over, including the Saiyans. So you got a Pool who worked for Cold, Bardock who is part of the Saiyans, Cooler, Queen, Dodoria, Fasha, Frieza, the Ginyu Force, King Cold, Salsa because he worked under Cooler, Scouter Vegeta, Zarbon, Raditz. So, the Cold Kingdom. Everyone knows the Cold Kingdom. They're going to lose a Pool, Fasha, King Vegeta, and Salsa. And they will gain Dragon Ball Super Broly because Broly starts working for Frieza within that movie before he goes berserk and starts attacking Frieza. So I think that would still qualify as him working for the Frieza Force. And then obviously Dragon Ball Super Broly. Their master list will decrease a bit. They will lose 4. They'll gain 2. So they'll keep a master list of around 20. Derp. Now, Derp is a little difficult to figure out. Any fighter who is supposed to be powerful but were made to look so weak that it was stupid. This is very subjective. For some people, we'll just use Dodoria as the example. Dodoria is shown to be strong, but then gets beaten up very easily later. And some people might say, well, no, they only got beaten because of a power increase, so they shouldn't qualify for Derp. However, it could be like maybe Vegeta was just holding back or something, in which then, that's why Dodoria exists on Derp. So it's very much up to kind of opinions and analysis. Like some of these I can absolutely understand. Others, it can be a little difficult to figure out as to how they qualified. So you got Captain Ginyu, Birder, Devilman, Cyborg Tao, Android 19, Dodoria, as we mentioned, Mecha Frieza, King Cold, Hercule, because that's actually the most obvious one, Emperor Pilaf, Salsa, Supreme Kai, Yamcha is also a very obvious one. So they will lose Apool, Cyborg Tao, Devilman, the base form of Garlic Jr., Emperor Pilaf, Salsa, and Supreme Kai. They will gain Frost. So Frost is already on Derp's master list, but he's only a modded character in the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game that we use. So with him now being officially added into a game where I am, quote-unquote, officially adding him to the master list. And then Frieza Soldier. He was originally part of Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but then we modded him out. So he's now back in the game. And so he gets added back to their roster. And because of Derp's description, it's really hard to interpretate where anyone could give a valid reason as to why a character should or shouldn't be. So other than these two, I am unsure who else would qualify. So The effect is unknown because it could be interpreted that maybe Ribrianne would qualify for Derp. Maybe Bergamu or Dipso or something. It would take some analysis for Derp. So we know that total loss is 6 characters and a form. Total known gains is 2. Master list right now would be about 15, but it could go higher based on decisions by staff as to why, we'll just use Dipso, for example, qualifies onto Derp. So they could end up getting more than what we currently know. The Earth Defenders. Anyone who fought as or alongside the Z Fighters from the Saiyan to the Buu Saga. So the entire Dragon Ball Z arc. So you got Adult Trunks, you got Chaozu, you got every version of Goku, every version of Vegeta with the exception of Majin Vegeta and Scouter Vegeta. You got Majin Buu because he helped fight against Kid Buu. You got late and early Piccolo. You got future Gohan because he was fighting against the androids and he was like really the only Z fighter then. You got Sword Trunks, you got Adult Trunks, you got Supreme Kai, Tien, Yajirobe, Yamcha. So, anyone who was essentially on the good guy's side during a fight in Dragon Ball Z. They will lose Supreme Kai, and that is it. So, the fact that they only lose one character from their master list is actually a little shocking. But they don't gain anything because they didn't add any other characters from Dragon Ball Z into the game. So they will stay about the same. They lose one. Their master list will be about 20. GT. Dragon Ball GT. Any character who had a significant contribution in the story of Dragon Ball GT. So similar in a way to Buu Saga. This one only cares about the characters from GT though. So you have Android 17 and 18 because obviously they were fighting against Super 17. Baby Vegeta was a villain. Dr. Roge created the Hellfighter 17. You got N Goku before he ended up turning into Kid Goku. You got Final Form Frieza and Super Perfect Cell because Kid Goku fights those in Hell. You got GT Goku because obviously Kibito Kai, I honestly don't remember GT that well, so I don't know why he's part of the Dragon Ball GT list. But he must have done something correct. You got Sin Shenron because he was a villain, Super 17 because he was a villain, Pan because she was significant, Oob. So, very much the GT characters. They will lose Kibito Kai, Nuova Shenron, Emperor Pilaf, and Super 17. And sadly, no additions given to GT. So their master list decreases by 4, and they will have a master list of around 15. The hybrids. Any character that is a mix of 2 or more races' DNA. So you got all the half Saiyans, Trunks, Goten, Gohan, those all qualify. You got Pan, who's a quarter Saiyan, so she qualifies. Baby Vegeta, as we mentioned, you have the Tuffle DNA and you have the Vegeta Saiyan DNA, so that counts. You have Cell, who is a mix of Frieza, Goku, Piccolo, so it's got a mix of all different DNAs. Cell Jr. would qualify for the same. Majin Buu, because Majin Buu, and this is Fat Buu, is a combination of Buu and a Kai. And that would also qualify for Super Buu and all of his forms, because he has a Kai mixed in with him, as well as Piccolo, Goten, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan mixed inside of him. Oob, because of... Oob's a human, though. Maybe Majub, not Oob? Like, Majub I could see, because it's Oob fused with Majin Buu, and so that's 2 different DNAs. But, I don't know, regular Oob to me seems human, not a mix of DNA, but maybe there was something within GT that allowed more explanation as to Oob compared to what I know. So they don't lose any characters, which is huge. And they will gain Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks. Goku Black, the argument could be because it's the Saiyan DNA and a Supreme Kai Soul, that's a mix of a hybrid. And then Fused Zamasu is definitely part of it because that's a Kai body and a Saiyan body. But we're unsure if this is going to be a fusion like Gotenks or if it's a standalone character. And so we're not sure if Fused Zamasu will be added to the master list. But if Goku Black and Zamasu were to be added, then they could. But I don't think regular Zamasu would count. So master list increases, total of 3, maybe it's an actual 2, and their master list will be about 20. Kaiju. Any character that can transform into a giant ape. So you have all of the Saiyans with the tails. You have Janemba, who we ended up making his transformations backwards. So normally he goes from his big giant form down to the slim devil with the sword. We modded it so that the transformations happen the other way. And you have Slug, who turns into a giant, and you have Pilaf, who turns into a giant robot. And then everyone else is essentially just the giant Ozoru. However, most of the great ape forms that are present in BT3 are no longer present. So Bardock, Nappa, Raditz, Turles, Kid Gohan, Kid Goku, they all lose their giant transformations. As mentioned, we modded Janemba to go from slim to giant rather than giant to slim. And because of the new game and Janemba being in it, that is been reverted back to the original. So they would lose Janemba since we don't allow a giant as a starting form. And just in general, they lose Fasha, King Vegeta, and Emperor Pilaf. They might gain Agnalasa, but he might only exist as a giant, and so he wouldn't be allowed. The effect will depend. They lose a total of 3 characters. That's not arguable. They lose 7 forms. However, the base forms are there. So right now their master list is sitting around 10. And we'll discuss Kaiju a little bit more later on in our discussion. It's the Team Muscle. It's the Muscly Boys. So any of the giant muscle men. Android 13, after he fuses as a muscle man. Adult Trunks, because he goes into Super Saiyan grade 3, I think it's called. Bojack, Broly. Cooler qualifies because it's in the anime, it's a painful transformation. King Cold is just very muscular. Garlic Jr. has a super form. Jiren is just naturally muscular. Nappa, Raccoon, Spopovich, naturally muscular. And then everything else has a transformation that puts you very muscular. Muscle only loses base form Garlic Jr. The super form is still in the game, so Garlic Jr. stays on the master list. But they lose access to the small form for the team. They will gain Dragon Ball Super Broly, Jiren, who previously mentioned he's already on the master list, but he's been a modded character, so now he officially is part of the master list. You have Kale, and then you have Toppo. So master list increases. They lose nobody except for a form. They gain 4, and their master list will be about 20. Team Namek. Any fighter that is Namekian, created by the Namekians, or has Namekian DNA. So Cell and Cell Jr., they have DNA from Piccolo. Early Piccolo, or any of the Piccolos, they are Namekians. Gotenks Buu and Gohan Buu, they have Piccolo absorbed, so they have Namekian DNA. Nails and Namekian. Nuova Shenron and Sin Shenron, They are the Dragon Balls, so they were created from a Namekian. You got Slug as a Namekian, Tambourine as a Namekian. So that's how everyone qualifies. They will lose King Piccolo, Nuova Shenron, and Tambourine. And there are no current additions for Namek. Maybe they're going to get Orange Piccolo as a character coming up in a DLC, but we don't know that yet. So their Master List decreases. They lose 3, and their Master List is 8, which that is a very small Master List. Resurrected Warriors. Any character who was actually resurrected via Dragon Balls or Whis' Time Rewind. So, if I can remember a lot of these, Adult Trunks, Android 18 and 17, Chaozu, Devilman. So, Adult Trunks gets resurrected after the Cell Saga. Android 17 and 18, that would be after Kid Buu blew up the planet. Chaozu would be Kid Buu blew up the planet. Early Goku would be after his death from Raditz. Early Piccolo would be during the Namek Saga. Frieza was regular Frieza might not count because he was just given life from Whis. I don't know. That one is gonna have to be looked into. Jiren is from the Wish on the Giant Dragon Balls in the TOP. You got Kid Trunks. A lot of these will qualify from like the Buu saga, essentially. Personally, I'm not sure how Oob qualifies. But again, there could be something in GT that I am just absolutely missing. So, yeah, a lot of these are Dragon Balls from the Super Buu's destruction of the Earth, where it left only like 6 people alive. They will lose Android 8, Devilman, Nom, and Emperor Pilaf. They will gain a lot of the Tournament of Power characters because they ended up getting wished back from the Super Dragon Balls. So you got Bergamu, Kaba, Khalifa, Dipso, Frost and Jiren, Hit, Katsukuna, Kale, Ribrianne, Rosary, Toppo, Dragon Ball Super Frieza, and Dragon Ball Super Vegeta. Overall effect for the Resurrected Warriors is a increase of net 10, and their Master List will be around 40 characters. The Royals. Any characters that have been given or given themselves a royal title in the show or were shown to rule over others. So you have, Lord Cooler, Demon King Deborah, any of the Vegetas, any of the Friezas, really. King Vegeta, King Cold, Lord Slug, Lord Garlic Jr., Supreme Kai, I guess, counts because that's like a royal title within the Kais. And Emperor Pilaf. So various kings, lords, emperors, and Supreme. And Prince. They will lose Emperor Pilaf, King Vegeta, Demon King Piccolo, and Supreme Kai. They will gain Lord Beerus, Dragon Ball Super Vegeta, because he always calls himself a prince. Dragon Ball Super Lord Frieza, because it's Frieza. And then the one that I'm not really sure on, but I added it to the list, is Zamasu. I can't remember if he was ever referred to as a Supreme Kai, but he was a Supreme Kai in training. And then fused Zamasu, it could be the same reasoning as regular Zamasu. Maybe he calls himself a god during his saga, which, a god would be a very royal title, I feel. So they will stay about the same. They'll lose 4. I think they'll gain about 5. And their Master List will be about 20. The Rugrats. Any character that has a childlike body and is either under age of 12 or has a child moniker, Kid, Junior, the third, if that ever existed. So you got Aurelie, you got obviously Cell Jr. and Garlic Jr., Chi-Chi, Goten, GT Goku, Kid Buu, Gohan, Goku, and Trunks. You got Pan, Cyberman, and Teen Gohan. They will lose Aurelie. They will lose Chi-Chi. And then a possible loss is Garlic Jr. His small form doesn't exist in the game, but his super form does. He still has the moniker of Junior. So it's kind of hard to know whether or not this will be allowed or not. I think because of the childlike body portion of the description, he wouldn't qualify. So I think he would be a loss, but I don't currently know. The characters that they will gain is Goku Daima. So, it's a bit of a spoiler. There's a DLC pack for the Daima, or Daima, however you pronounce it, anime that will be coming out. And part of the DLC will end up having characters from that. So, we do know that Goku Daima will be part of the DLC. And it will be, that anime is where everyone becomes essentially chibi children. And so we do know that they're gaining this. They might gain a Vegeta version. They might gain a Piccolo version. I'm not sure. So overall effect, they will stay about the same. Total known losses of 2, total gains of 1. Their master list will be about 12. And the final team to talk about, Sentai Squad. Any character who is clearly inspired by Sentai style series, for League purposes, they have to meet 3 different criteria. They must belong to a group, have a Sentai or superhero suit, have some form of color coordination or matching outfit, and make a Sentai inspired battle pose. They could also be any character that has a transformation akin to a Megazord, or if the Sentai character has a secret identity, that identity qualifies. So the most obvious example is the Ginyu Force. They belong to a group, they end up having a matching outfit, and they make poses. So then you also have Pilaf. He belongs to a group. Every character in Pilaf's group has, a robotic suit. And when they end up, fighting in those suits, they make poses. So I think that's why. Jiren, he ends up having the group, the matching outfit, and kind of makes the battle poses. Say a Woman and Say a Man, which also gives us Videl, Ultimate Gohan, and probably Adult Gohan as well. You got Salza from Cooler. He's part of Cooler's group. He makes poses. He has a matching outfit to his group. So that's the reason why these characters qualify. They do lose Emperor Pilaf, Salza, and Great Saiyan Woman. Videl does still exist in the game, but if Great Saiyan Woman doesn't qualify, it might remove Videl from the list as well, but I'm not entirely certain. Characters that they will gain. So Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 from the DLC, because they are clearly part of a, super villain-esque group. You got Katsukuna, Ribrianne, and Rosie, because they are part of, I can't remember the exact universe number, but when they end up getting their transformation happening, like they're part of the group, they have that superhero sort of vibe, they make various poses. And then you got Dipso, Toppo, and Jiren, because they obviously wear the red and black, they make superhero poses, much like Toppo does there in the picture. And as mentioned with like Muscle and Resurrected Warriors, Jiren was a modded character. He's now officially in a game, so now he is officially permanently added to a match list. Their master list will increase. They will lose 2 with a form loss. They will gain 8. Their master list increases to about a total of 20. So, the estimated effect before all of the DLC comes out is as follows. Androids will have about 15. Budokai will have about 20. It could be 40 if the team gets expanded. Buu Saga will have around 17. Cinema and Cold Kingdom will have about 20. Derp will currently have around 15, not counting anything that would be added that I didn't know. Earth Defenders 20. GT is 15. Hybrids 20. Kaiju 10. Muscle 20. Namek is literally 8. Resurrected Warriors 40. Royals 20. Rugrats 12. And Sentai Squad 20. So, as you can see, there are a few teams that we should probably talk about when it comes to their master lists. So let's talk about the elephants in the room. And we're going to talk about Kaiju first. So, Kaiju takes some big hits to their master list. They start with 13 characters. They lose 3 of them, dropping to 10. They might lose Janemba because of the way that the transformation happens. They might gain Agnalissa, but again, Agnalissa might only be a giant character. They might not have a smaller form. And then, with that, so let's just say they're at 10, over half of their remaining characters don't have a Kaiju form to transform into. Could Kaiju still exist? Yeah, they could still exist. A change could be to allow anyone on their list that has a giant form in any media, even if it doesn't exist in the game. So they would be allowed to keep all the Saiyans that lost their giant transformation, but they would gain access to early Piccolo because in the anime he transformed into a giant, similar to Slug. However, this does kind of conflict with the theme because, somebody not familiar with the league, if they heard that a team's theme was Kaiju, they would think, oh, they transform into giant monsters, and then, they would expect to see that during the matches, and they might only see one character even have the possibility to transform. What if, though, we reverted Kaiju back to the Saiyans? So, for those that might not be in the know, before Kaiju was a theme, there existed a theme of just the Saiyans, and these were the Saiyans that could transform into the giant great apes, but could not transform into Super Saiyans. So you had your Bardoks and your Nappas and your Raditzes, but you couldn't have mid Goku. We could transfer them back into Saiyans, and then it could include any Saiyan. We could expand the Saiyan Master List to include any Saiyan. However, this could be very risky. We had a team called Super Saiyans that were banned for being too strong, and this would have their Master List jump up to be around 40 characters because of the amount of prominent Saiyan characters. So it's very hard to know exactly how to best fix Kaiju, as it were. Because if we reverted them just to the regular Saiyan, I think they only have 7 characters. If we expanded them to Super Saiyans, they might have too many characters. So it's very hard to know how to help Kaiju possibly stay in the league. Namek. Namek is also a big one. It doesn't take as big of a hit compared to Kaiju because Kaiju has so many forms that no longer exist, but it is still very significant to discuss. Namek goes from a master list of 11 to a master list of 8. And having a master list under 10, at least right now, is very detrimental because you don't have as many opportunities for loans or trades. There could be, 5 seasons in a row where you're just stuck with the exact same 5 characters and you can't do anything about it. And so it's not very healthy to the league to have a master list that low. There is a bit of an easier solution than Kaiju, is instead of Nameks being based around Namekians and the creations of Namekians, we give it the Buu treatment and turn it into the Namek Saga. So, if we turned it into the Namek Saga, they would have Kid Gohan and Krillin, either Scouter or Mid Vegeta, because I don't really know exactly how Vegeta qualifies during the Namek Saga. I would assume still the Scouter, but arguments could be made for Mid Vegeta. But either way, they would need to have a Broly's ring so that they don't turn Great Ape or Super Saiyan. You obviously have Dodoria and Zarbon because they were there fighting with Frieza. You have Nail, who fought Frieza. Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z Frieza. You have the entirety of the Ginyu Force, early Goku and mid Goku. You have Frieza Soldier. You have early Piccolo, and you have Kui. So, a bit of a weaker roster than who they currently have, because obviously they have Nuova, they have late Piccolo, King Piccolo. It's very good. So I think, it could be seen as like this is at least weaker, but it gives them a variety. Looking at the list, we're looking at 9, 12, 15, 17 characters here, in which they could end up doing so many loans and trades to give them variety during the league. So you got Kid Gohan, who could move over to Rugrats or the hybrids. You have Krillin, who could be loaned over to Earth Defenders. Scouter or Mid Vegeta could be loaned, loaned out to a certain team. Because I don't know the form, I don't know what team I was trying to discuss there. You have Dodoria, Zarbon, and Frieza, who could be loaned over to the Cold Kingdom. You have the entire Ginyu Force, which could be Cold Kingdom, could be Sentai. Raccoon could go over to Muscle. Quite a few of them could go over to Derp. You have early Goku and mid Goku, so you could have them on, depending on the Goku, Resurrected Warriors, Earth Defenders, Budokai. You have Frieza Soldier, who would clearly be Derp and Cold Kingdom. Kui, who would be Derp and Cold Kingdom. Early Piccolo, who would be Budokai, Earth Defenders, Resurrected Warriors. So a lot of different teams that they'd be able to reach out, make loans and trades with. So it would allow them a variety of teams during the league. And lastly, Resurrected Warriors. So Resurrected Warriors will have a master list of about 40. With no other team reaching that, unless the expansion of Budokai happens, where Budokai gets, the Tournament of Power and things like that. Resurrected Warriors will have 40. Everyone else is going to be hovering around 20 at most, maybe 25. And this could be seen as unhealthy for the league, where a team could have 3 times as many characters as another team. So, like, if we go back just a couple of here, so like Resurrected Warriors at 40, whereas Rugrats have 12. That's a 3 times difference between the teams, and so it could be seen as unhealthy for Resurrected Warriors to have that many characters. Maybe we take back the Whis Rewind, and that lowers down Resurrected Warriors master lists. Maybe we turn them back into Afterlife, who was an old team where it was a character seen in the Afterlife. But it's kind of hard to know exactly how things are going to pan out, especially with not knowing all of the DLC. And again, my master list is just my opinion. So, the teams might not be as low as I think they are. They might end up having a lot more teams. But if my ideas here are correct, it would be a bit unhealthy to have one team just have twice as many, 3 times as many as a majority of the other teams. But what are your thoughts? Any suggestions for teams that you have? Maybe there was a character that is supposed to qualify for a team that I did not put on their list. Maybe you have a way to figure out how to help Kaiju out with their dilemma. Maybe you have a way, a team thought on how we could help Namek. Let us know in the comments below. If you're getting the game this week, I hope you enjoy it. We do have a channel in the Discord for SparkingZero discussion, so if you want to join, that link will be in the description below. Our Discord will be there. Our website will be there so that you can see more about the league, Twitter, TikTok. Do your usual YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know any suggestions for teams that you have, anything that you're looking forward to with SparkingZero. But until next time, I've been Ryan. I hope you have enjoyed listening to me today, and I will see you back here soon.